Hello, dear Scorpio. Welcome to your extensive 2019 astrology horoscope with me, Marina. Today, we are going to talk about really exciting astrological indications which are specifically related to your sign. So, basically, we are going to analyze the social planets Jupiter and Saturn, the lunar nodes, the eclipses during the whole year, the position of the outer planets specifically for Scorpio, how they can affect you, how you can take advantage of these transits. We're also going to talk about Mars, the Sun, the transits, which can show you in which area you can be really active, where you can be really enthusiastic or more motivated than usual. Of course, we are also going to talk about Mercury retrograde, the 3 cycles of Mercury retrograde, specific dates, and which areas will be affected specifically for your chart. The great news is that Venus and Mars won't be retrograde this year. And also at the end of this video, we are going to talk about the transits of Venus, the most beneficial transits which can show you how to plan the most positive events or celebrations or entertainment, vacations, and so on. So as you can see, we have many things to talk about. It will take a while, so please be patient. You can also come back anytime and listen to the video again for more information. This video is about everyone who has a sun or ascendant sign in Scorpio. Of course, there are videos for the other signs as well, which will be available on my channel or on my website marstars.net after all of them are recorded. Also, let me remind you about the 2019 astrology calendar. You can find the link below this video. This calendar includes the heliacal phases of the planets, exact aspects between the planets with dates and interpretation, also ingressions of planets, lunations, and other surprises, which I will announce probably next week. So if you're interested or you want to contact me for a reading or for more information, you will find the links below the video. And now let's start with the fun part. Let's start with the most positive thing about the upcoming year. First of all, numerologically, the year equals 3. 2019 equals 3, which in astrology is related to Jupiter. The number 3 is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the most beneficial planet, as we know, the great benefactor, the planet which can bring prosperity, wisdom, knowledge, success, basically the greatest things in life. So that's a great starting point for everyone. Jupiter during this year is also extremely strong. Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, the sign of its rulership, which means that the planet is even more generous, even more beneficial generally for everyone. On top of that, we also have Saturn, the other social planet in Capricorn, the sign of its rulership as well. And this combination, Jupiter and Saturn, both in the signs which they are ruling, has happened for the last time during 1959. So as you can understand, this is a quite rare combination, very specific, and I would say very positive. The strong position of Saturn can help us to be more organized, to be more focused on practical things, to achieve material results, to be capable of materializing things. On the other hand, the strong position of Jupiter makes things easier, can help us to be more positive, more optimistic, and focused on the future. So generally speaking, this strong combination is great for everyone. Jupiter and Saturn are equally strong during basically the whole year. During December, Jupiter will enter Capricorn as well, but until that time, both of the planets are equally strong. Of course, it's important which areas are affected for Scorpio, for you specifically. And first of all, let's start with Jupiter. Jupiter, while being in Sagittarius, for you will affect your second house. So basically, this is the area where you can benefit, where you can achieve more, you can grow, you can expand. One of the key things about Jupiter is expansion. So it brings more of the stuff related to this house. It brings abundance. Second house, on the other hand, is about visible, practical things, mostly related to our resources. Basically, that's the most general word for second house. All kinds of resources that belong to us. Of course, one of the most important things is finances, our money. That's part of our resources. But also, here we can include everything that we have, all kinds of personal belongings. Expensive stuff or not so expensive stuff, everything which is your own is related to your second house. So Jupiter transiting this house, of course, can bring you more of those things. More money, more personal belongings, more resources. On the other hand, also Jupiter in second house can provoke you, let's say, to spend more money as well. You might be more generous. You may, for example, give money to others. And of course, that's great as well, because in this way, you are basically, in some way reconnecting with others. Second, eighth house, basically, that's the exchange of energy. Another thing which is related to second house is also our physical energy. And that's why second house is also related to our health, because the energy that we have affects our health literally. So Jupiter in second house can really help you to increase or to improve your energy level. Especially if you have been overwhelmed or exhausted, or if you have had some health issues, Jupiter in second house supports you to have more energy from within. And this energy, of course, can be materialized in different areas for something productive, for work, or for whatever you would like to do. And of course, affecting your health in a positive way as well. Something which is specific about Jupiter in second house. Of course, it can bring you money and abundance, but we cannot promise every one of you that you will become rich. But the main idea is that money is not usually such a problem. Even if you don't become rich, because it also depends on your natal chart, what's predefined in the chart. But even if you are not someone who is extremely rich, after all, Jupiter in second house will help you to feel, safer, let's say, or to feel like you have enough. Even if money is not in a huge amount, it will be enough. And also, it's interesting that usually at the end of the transit, before Jupiter enters the next house, you may realize that money is better than it used to be for you 1 year ago. So focus on this area. You may achieve more, you can have more prosperity. Remember that the fact that Jupiter is in Sagittarius means that the ruler of the house enters this house, which can always bring you important events. Of course, the same is true for Saturn as well. Important events related to your financial situation, to your resources, to your physical energy and condition and health. Okay, let's see. Next we have Saturn. Saturn is in Capricorn during the whole year. In your case, it will transit third house. And basically, Saturn will be your friend because it makes sextile with Scorpio, which is a positive aspect. Generally speaking, Saturn in third house is very important for your communication with other people. From one side, it could be kind of a testing period for your friendships, for example. You may realize who are your real friends. If there were some kind of meaningless contacts with others, people who are unreliable, people who are not responsible, not your real friends, Saturn in third house will cut those people, will, make them leave for some reason, or you might be the one who initiates this change. But in some way, you may notice that also you're much more serious, you're more responsible when it comes to your friends, your communication with people. With Saturn in third house, it's not so easy to create new friendships, especially if there is no real meaning in this communication or friendship. It would be a positive transit for creating some business contacts, negotiations, because Saturn likes business. Saturn likes serious stuff, meaningful things. So from that point of view, Saturn in third house can support you. Also, third house is related to education, and more specifically, the practical skills that we have. So with Saturn in third house, it may not be so easy for you to learn new things. It may require more effort, more patience, but on the other hand, it can really help you to remember things for a longer period, to be more responsible to the learning process, or generally for your education. Also, when it comes to traveling, Saturn in third house may decrease the amount of travelings or trips which are not so important. For example, if you have to travel for business or for education, for something which is important for you or for others, Saturn supports that. If we have to work for something, Saturn is good with that. But if you are traveling too much or wasting time on that, Saturn may decrease your opportunities. But that's okay. It's not in a stressful way. It's not, in a painful way, because Saturn makes sextile with your sign. Basically, Saturn is supporting you. And also, it's important to know the exact degrees for those planets. Basically, during 2019, Saturn is between the 12th and the 22nd degree in Capricorn. So, if you have your sun or ascendant sign between those degrees, plus minus 1-2 degrees, in Scorpio, of course, it means that Saturn will make exact aspect with your sun or ascendant sign, exact sextile during the year. Very positive, very supportive aspect, which can help you to be more organized, to take care of your responsibilities in an easier way, to be more structured. And one more thing also important about Saturn in third house. It requires more logical way of thinking. Third house also represents how we think, how we analyze situations. And Saturn is all about logic. So this position requires from you to be extremely logical during this year. If you have some kind of illusions, unrealistic ideas, Saturn also requires to change those things. But that's all for our good. It's not something bad. Now, speaking about Saturn and Capricorn, we also need to mention that the South Node is there as well. The South Node is in Capricorn in your third house during the whole year. And the South Node is one of those important points that we need to remember. The nodes, they are not concrete objects. They are not like the planets. We cannot literally see them. They are calculated. They have certain meaning, especially in the karmic astrology. I won't focus too much on that, but that's a very interesting topic to dive in and to explore both in your natal chart and in the prediction. And during the year, the South Node in Capricorn requires from you to give up from something which is meaningless or not important, or it's time to let it go. Because the South Node has also a similar influence like Saturn. So there might be a testing period here. There might be things that you need to let go. Specifically related to your contacts, friendships, how you connect with people, how you communicate, how you learn new things. And to be honest with you, this is one of the easiest positions that we can possibly have. When something more challenging triggers your third or ninth house, that's the easiest case. This axis is about education, about ideas, learning, traveling, but these are not things that can really, make you feel uncomfortable. It's not, like testing your relationship with your partner or your career or your communication with children. Third house is more about, things which are not so dramatic. So I would say that you're really lucky during the year. And in terms of education, you have to be more serious. On the other hand, when it comes to the North Node, we need to mention that it has a similar impact like Jupiter. So it brings you opportunities, it brings you abundance, success, and it is positive to focus on the position of the North Node. In your case, during the year, the North Node is in ninth house. The North Node is in Cancer, of course, which means that it would be a great time to focus on your future. Long-term goals, dreams, plans, expectations. Third house is more about being present, about living today, being really focused on what's happening around you. Generally, it's positive. We know how important it is to be present. But sometimes, if we are too focused here and now, we may not focus enough on the future, on the things that we want to materialize or attract or achieve in the future. And during this year, one of the main lessons for you is to learn to focus more on your future. And when I say future, I mean not only during the whole year, but probably to think about the next 5, 10, maybe even 20 years of your life. There are many techniques about how to set goals, to use certain rituals or, supportive things, mantras, and so on. I won't dive into too much detail here, but I think it would be very important and positive for you to explore those things. By the way, exploring things, especially when it comes to knowledge, some kind of philosophy, some kind of basically education, which is not probably so practical, but is more opening your mind, helping you to realize things that you haven't thought before or you haven't believed. Belief system is also related to our ninth house. So this may also be an important area for you. In what kind of things do you believe? Do you think that, the universe is supportive, that it's, taking care of you, or are you afraid? Are you expecting bad things? These things are very important. And if you manage to change them or, to make them work for you, you may achieve an incredible progress during the year. And with the North Node in your ninth house, I think that you would have the right opportunities. But you have to be active, you have to be responsible. And if you want to learn things, of course, this is a great year, but focus more on philosophical knowledge. Things which may not be so, concrete, but they will open up your mind. With Saturn in third house, you have to be responsible about the knowledge. It may not be so easy. You may need to put efforts, but it would be worth it. And you can achieve an incredible growth and prosperity in your life. So with this combination, basically the most positive indications, Jupiter in second house, the North Node in your ninth house, it would be a great year also to educate yourself more in topics related to your finances, how you can manage finances, how you can invest your money, even if you don't have a lot of money, even if you're not rich. It's extremely important to know how to, to start with the small things. Even if you live, in debts or in credits or you owe money to other people, it's even more important for you actually to learn how to manage finances. So this is the luckiest combination for you, or this is the most positive thing, in my opinion, which you can do. Now, next we have to talk about the eclipses. They are connected, of course, to the position of the lunar nodes because the eclipses happen when we have a lunation, new moon or full moon, combined with the lunar nodes in conjunction. Because of the lunar nodes, we consider those events karmic, very important and sometimes life-changing and transformative. So here we have all of the dates with the exact degrees and where those events or where those lunations, eclipses fall in your chart, in which house. So this information is very important. The first eclipse is on the 5th of January, solar eclipse. 16 degrees in Capricorn in your third house. First of all, let me remind you how important it is to find the exact position of this degree and all of the other degrees, of course. Because if the eclipse falls close to a cusp of a house in your chart or in conjunction with another planet, it means that the eclipse will be extremely important for you and can affect your life for the next 6 months or even 3 years in some cases. And the opposite is true as well. For example, if the degree of the eclipse is somewhere in the middle of the house, there are no other planets close there, this eclipse may not be life-changing, may not be so important for you. So that's a great starting point. Find the positions of each of those eclipses in your chart. The first one, the 5th of January, 16 degrees Capricorn, third house. And the important part is that the South Node is here. So this might be the more challenging eclipse. This might be a more challenging period. And in some way, we might be more turned into the past. Situations from the past, maybe some kind of contacts, things related to your friendships or communication or knowledge or experience. In some way, you need to transform those things. They might be important. And it would be really positive to let the old things go. For example, unhealthy friendships, people who have disappointed you, cut those relationships out of your life. Leave only the meaningful things, only the reliable, the responsible, or the important people in your life. Next, we have a lunar eclipse on the 21st of January, and this eclipse is more complicated. The South Node and the North Node are in the same signs, but the Sun and the Moon are on the first degree in Leo and Aquarius. This is also an option when you have this conjunction between the signs, but the interpretation is more difficult. Generally, we can say the lunar eclipse falls in your 10th and 4th house, so it could be a very important eclipse because it triggers the cardinal axis in the chart, and it can bring serious changes or the need to find the balance between your career and your personal life, between work and family, responsibilities and personal life. From one side, it could be stressful, but at the same time, you may realize important things and you may let go of something during this time or after that, of course. Next, we have another solar eclipse on the 2nd of July, 11 degrees in Cancer, falling in your 9th house. And the difference here is that we have the North Node in conjunction. This is the more positive, basically the easiest eclipse. The North Node in some way shows us direction for our future. So here you may have a clearer idea what you want to achieve in your future. What kind of goals do you have? What would you like to become or to improve in your life? So focus on the future. Of course, with 9th house, we talk about goals, belief system, your education. 9th house, by the way, is also important if you want to relocate, if you want to live in another country or, travel far away. This may also be an option. Here, of course, you have to find other indications personally for you, but generally speaking, it is possible with the ninth house active in the chart. Next, we have another lunar eclipse, the 16th of July, this time 24 degrees Capricorn and Cancer, falling in your 3rd and 9th house. Again, we need to balance situations here. We might be pulled in different directions. The difference between 3rd and 9th house is like the difference between the small details and the main idea of something. So here it's really important to be capable of recognizing what's the important part and which are the small things that you can neglect. And sometimes we may, it might be difficult to make the difference. And also, as usual, time to let go of something, time to release things from the past, when you can have a clearer idea or vision about situations. This axis, third and ninth house, is basically the intellectual axis in the chart, related to our way of thinking, our intellectual skills and potential and talents. So, important period for new ideas or reassessment of your life or different things which are important for you. If you work in science or in education, or if you're a student, of course, this is very important as well. And the last eclipse on the 26th of December, this time we have the eclipse on the 5th degree in Capricorn, again triggering your third house. Basically, this is a similar eclipse like the one at the beginning of the year. Only the degree is different, which means that, again, situations from the past might be important, time to let go of things, time to reassess, and sometimes, even to face with some kind of losses. And that's why it would be more positive to let them go personally by choice. So these are the eclipses during the whole year. Again, let me remind you, find the exact degrees and where they are falling in your chart. It would give you more information. Next, we have another really important influences: the outer planets Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Here, I would like to remind you that it's very important to find the exact degrees of the planet and if they will make exact aspects or major aspects with your planets. Because if you have a major aspect between one of the outer planets and any planet in your chart, especially the sun or the moon or maybe your ascendant, this will be the main thing for the year, the most important thing. And the opposite, let's say that the planet is somewhere in the middle of the house, it doesn't make major aspects with your natal planet, you may not notice this planet at all. So very important thing. That's why we have the exact degrees, we will mention them. First of all, Uranus is on the 28th degree in Aries at the beginning of the year in your 6th house. Basically here, Uranus doesn't make major aspect with Scorpio. So for many of you, it may not be an important transit, unless you have a cusp of a house here, but I think it would be a rare case. Generally, Uranus in 6th house affects your career, your work, responsibilities, health, daily routines. It requires more variety, more exciting experiences, trying new things. But generally, we can say this is not such an important position. But on the other hand, after March, Uranus enters Taurus, not for the first time, it already happened during 2018, so this is the second time when Uranus will enter Taurus. And until the end of the year, it will be on the 7th degree in Taurus. This transit might be very important for some of you. If you have your sun or ascendant sign between the 1st degree in Taurus or the 7th, even the 8th degree, for the sun, the 9th degree in Scorpio, it means that Uranus will make opposition with your sun or ascendant. And this is a very, very important transit, which can bring incredible transformations, sudden changes. This is an aspect which might be stressful, might be unexpected, but at the same time, it may set you free. The desire for freedom is extremely strong if Uranus makes major aspect, especially if the aspect is challenging, square or opposition. These are the periods when you can achieve a significant change in your life. And here I would like to remind you that you shouldn't be afraid of the challenging aspects from the outer planets. Yes, they can be stressful, they can be sudden, unexpected, difficult, but they are the indications which can show you growth, which can show moving to another level, especially spiritually or things which are important for you personally. You as a person may change dramatically if Uranus squares or makes, in your case, it makes opposition with the sun. And you have to be prepared. From one side, it could bring certain level of instability, but at the same time, it might be extremely exciting, extremely interesting. And here, your natal chart and your personality are very important. If you resist the changes, if you try to avoid them, if you are trying to keep the old stuff, this may feel really stressful. Uranus making major challenging aspect with your sun. But if you're open for a change, if you seek the change, if you want to experiment, if you want more freedom, more variety in your life, Uranus can be like a gift for you. So as usual, the more conscious we are, the more aware we are of what's happening, of ourselves, our inner motivation, the more we can change the impact of the planets. That's a huge topic. Basically, it requires maybe not even one, but a series of webinars to explain the in-depth impact of the outer planets. But shortly, let me remind you that the outer planets have a different level of impact on a material level, on an emotional level, and on a mental level. They may affect you in different way. So the more conscious you are, especially mentally, the more you can control this situation, or at least we can, let's say, the more you can use it in your advantage. With the outer planets, it's difficult to say that you can control completely the process, but at least you may navigate it easier. So let's return back to our Uranus and 2019 period. Just remember that this is a very important, transformative, personal period. And if your ascendant is in Scorpio, so if Uranus enters your 7th house, of course, it affects your relationships, especially the closest relationships with other people, with your spouse or romantic partner, your business partnerships as well. Sometimes there might be shocking events, unexpected events. If you're in an unhappy marriage or relationship which is dead or meaningless, Uranus may, destroy this, or may help you to make the needed steps to, to end the relationship. So for some people, this may bring separations. But as I usually repeat, the planets only, destroy things which are already dead. If you have a meaningful relationship, if you are with the right partner for you, if you are, doing things in the right way, none of those aspects can destroy your relationship or your life or whatever you want to achieve. But if you're lying to yourself, if you're trying to pretend that things are okay but they are really not, Uranus may force you to, to face with the truth for different people in different ways. But just remember that if you have your sun or ascendant sign between the 1st and the 8th or even 9th degree in Scorpio, this transit of Uranus will probably be the most important one for you during the whole year. Okay, the other outer planets are, well, easier for you, I would say. Neptune is between the 14th and the 19th degree during the whole year in Pisces. Yeah, in Pisces, we know that. Neptune is in your 5th house. Very positive, very pleasant position. First of all, Neptune will make trine with your sun or ascendant sign, especially if it's between those degrees here, plus minus 1 or 2 degrees. So let's say between the 13th and the 20th degree in Scorpio. It would mean that the transit Neptune will make trine. Very supportive aspect which can increase your intuition. For creativity, this is a great position. Neptune in 5th house can make you extremely creative if you have it personally within you. I mean, if you are not a creative person, Neptune in 5th house won't change that. But if you have this potential within you, Neptune may help you to unlock it. Also, for romantic things, this is a great position which can make you extremely empathic, extremely romantic, and capable of connecting with others on a deeper level. And this aspect can make you more generous with people, can make you forget a little bit about yourself and your ego and be more satisfied when you can help others, when you can support them, when you can do something good for other people. So very nice, very positive position of Neptune for you. Especially, I repeat, if you have your sun or ascendant somewhere in the middle, Scorpio. The other outer planet, the last one, Pluto, is between the 20th and the 23rd degree in Capricorn during the whole year. So you can see how slow Pluto is moving, only 4 degrees for the whole year. And again, the most important question is whether Pluto will make major aspect with some of your natal planets, or the sun or the ascendant, of course. If you have your sun or ascendant between the 18, 19 degree or the 25th degree in Scorpio, it means that Pluto will make a sextile. Very positive, very supportive aspect, soft aspect. This is not an aspect which can, get you outside of your comfort zone and really push you. But it may still feel quite transformative and empowering, especially if you are learning something, because Pluto is in third house. So it can really change your way of thinking. It can transform your way of thinking. It may happen through communication with other people, some friends, or people that you meet in general. It might happen also through some kind of education, knowledge, books for some people. So through information, you may transform yourself, your ideas, many things about your life. So generally speaking, Pluto is your friend. From the outer planets, basically, only Uranus might be challenging for some of you, not for everyone. So pay extra attention to Uranus. Neptune and Pluto are friends with you. So that's the most important, the fundamental information for 2019. The social planets, eclipses, and lunar nodes, and the outer planets. The next thing that we are going to talk about will give you more information on a monthly basis. So basically, they can show you more details. They may support you to plan certain things. And we are starting with Mars. Mars, by the way, is also very important for you because that's one of the rulers of Scorpio. That's the old ruler of Scorpio. Now we consider Pluto as the main ruler, but Mars is still very important for you. So Mars, first of all, can show you in which area you can be more active, more productive, more focused, motivated. Of course, with Mars, we can always expect also possible confrontations, or we can be more impatient, or we may want to compete with others. So, as usual, it depends also on our reaction. At the beginning of the year, Mars is very strong. Mars is in Aries, the other sign which is ruled by Mars. And in your case, it will affect sixth house. Basically, that's from the beginning, from the 1st of January until the 13th of February. Mars in Aries in your sixth house. Very positive position for work, for taking or doing new things, initiatives, risks for business. This is a great position, especially if you want to be more independent, to do something on your own, or if you have your own business, just go for it. This is a great time. Keep in mind, sometimes you may confront with coworkers or even with clients. There might be certain level of stress, but that's the most important about Mars and maybe generally about how things work. If you want to achieve something, if you want more energy, usually there is also certain level of stress. But this level of stress or frustration can be used as a fuel or as a source of energy to do something meaningful or something that you want. So with Mars in sixth house, there might be something irritating about your work, or you might be too busy, or I don't know, there might be too many stuff that you have to do. But at the same time, you may notice that you're more productive, more motivated, and you can achieve more, do more work. The only thing that also you need to be careful is health. Mars in sixth house sometimes may bring some flus, or those things that come and go really fast with high temperature, and basically for a couple of days. Not for everyone, of course, but more attention to your health during the period. Then from the 14th of February until the 30th of March, Mars is in your seventh house. Relationships might be very important. From one side, there might be possible confrontations, but at the same time, you can achieve something together with another person. He may provoke you, he may inspire you, he may support you or motivate you, but relationships are key during this period. Then from the 31st of March until the 14th of May, Mars is in your 8th house. One of the houses which are naturally ruled by Mars, by the way, so strong position. From one side, it could be challenging sometimes because it may bring more risks, or you may take more risks sometimes, financially especially, but at the same time, you might be really active for investments. As we said, this might be an important topic, finances generally for you during the whole year. So mutual resources, or sometimes even spending money, and you might be too impulsive when it comes to those financial decisions. Then from the 15th of May until the 30th of June, Mars is in ninth house and makes trine with your sun or ascendant sign. Very supportive, very positive aspect, which can motivate you more, can help you to focus on your goals, on your future. And let's not forget that the North Node is here. So basically, during this time, Mars will make conjunction with the North Node in your ninth house, activating even more this topic. So very important period for your education, for starting new things, focusing on your goals, plans, and everything related to your future. After that, from the 1st of July until the 17th of August, Mars in your 10th house. One of the key positions during the year. 10th house is extremely important for everything which you're doing, especially in terms of your career, social achievements, things which are visible for others. So, intense, important period for career, for business, for new career projects. Also for communicating with authority figures. Sometimes this may bring possible confrontations. That's a challenge of this position. But generally, you may notice that you're highly motivated to achieve something in your career, something on your own usually. Mars is a planet which, pushes us to do something independently. So work, career, more achievements during this time. Possible stress as well, because Mars will square Scorpio during this time. But as we know, the challenging aspects can bring more energy, which you have the opportunity to use in something constructive. Then from the 18th of August until the 2nd of October, Mars is in 11th house. Period when you can focus on some social activities, group activities, friends, communicating with other people. As we know, with Saturn and with the South Node in third house, generally, the communication and connection with people might be an important topic as well. So here, connections with others are the most important. After that, from the 3rd of October until the 18th of November, Mars is in your 12th house. This is a completely different period from all of the others. During this time, you may feel, lack of motivation, or you may not be so focused on achieving things. It would be a great time to relax, to slow down, and to take a rest. This is not a very active period. You may not be so productive here. So slow down and just, prepare for the new beginning, which comes after the 19th of November. On the 19th of November, Mars will enter Scorpio and will stay there until the end of the year. Extremely strong and important position. First of all, Mars is ruling the sign Scorpio, so Mars is extremely powerful in this position. Second of all, first house is also the house which is associated to Mars. So very powerful, intense, important position for starting all kinds of new things which you're doing personally. You may feel more motivated, more energized, willing to compete with others. The confrontations are possible as well during this time. You might be more impatient. There might be certain level of stress, but you may do a lot of things here. Starting things on your own, taking risks, being more independent, all of those things might be really supported during the time. So the beginning and the end of the year are very strong for Mars, and that's why for you, because that's one of the rulers of your sign. At the beginning, basically until the 13th of February, Mars is in Aries, very strong position in your sixth house. And after the 19th of November until the end of the year, Mars is again really strong, this time in your first house. So remember those periods, it might be really helpful. Next, we have the transits of Mercury retrograde. As we already said, during 2018, Mars and Venus are direct during the whole time. We don't have retrograde phases, but as usual, Mercury is retrograde 3 or 4 times during the year. This time, only 3. The first one from the 5th until the 27th of March. Mercury is retrograde in Pisces between the 30th and the 17th degree. In this case, it will trigger your 5th house. So generally, we can say you have to be more careful with your personal life, romantic stuff. Not the best time for brand new relationships or dates or, romantic stuff. But all things might be restarted here. Partners, love, romantic relationships from the past might be restarted. Also about creativity, this might be a time when you might be more active internally, but on an outer level, it's not the best time for brand new creative projects. But generally, this is not a really difficult position because Mercury is making trine with your sign, with Scorpio. The next period is between the 7th and the 30th of July. This time, Mercury will be retrograde in Leo and Cancer from the 5th degree in Leo until the 24th degree in Cancer. So it may change different house positions from 10th to your 9th house. The first half of the period, Mercury is in your 10th house, which means more attention to your career. Not a beneficial period for, brand new career projects, signing business contracts, applying for promotion, more attention when you communicate with authority figures as well. After that, during the second half of this period, Mercury is in your 9th house. So more attention to your plans, future goals. You may change something, you may reassess something. More attention if you are traveling somewhere as well, or if you have some exams, or if you're learning something. Again, this aspect might be kind of a challenge. But again, we see that Mercury will make trine, especially during the second half here, so not such a challenging period. And the last retrograde phase is the most important for you, from the 31st of October until the 19th of November. Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio between the 28th and the 12th degrees. So as you may guess, I would recommend you to check if you have a planet or a cusp of a house between those degrees, between the 11th and the 29th degree in Scorpio. If that's the case, this transit might be very important. May bring things from the past, you may restart things. And as you can see, of course, Mercury is in first house. So basically everything which concerns you personally. Project, work, career, relationships, everything. More attention, of course, it doesn't mean that, this would be a dramatic period or you have to stop everything and, postpone it, but at least try to avoid important things, at least that, or things that you would like to be long lasting or even permanent. So generally we can say this is the most important period. And look how interesting, by the way, on the 19th of November, Mercury turns direct, probably on the next day actually, on the 20th, but also that's the day when Mars enters Scorpio. So there might be a significant shift for you guys here around the 20th of November and after that. Until that, for a couple of weeks, things may not be so smooth, may not be so clear, but here, after the 20th of November, you can make a significant shift in a positive direction, of course. So enough about Mars and the Sun and the challenges. Now we can talk about the positive stuff, starting with the Sun. And after that, we only have Venus and the luckiest days left. Yeah, some people say they have rising 29-degree. So this would be an important transit for you, definitely. Okay, so first of all, the difference between the Sun and Mars. Both fire planets, both can increase your motivation, can, make you more focused on something. But with the Sun, things are easier. The Sun is the main force of light in our, and energy, of course, in our solar system. So very important and also very positive. So here you can use this for, planning things which are more pleasant, or, finding out which are the most positive periods for vacations or for work. But here we are not expecting tension or challenges or confrontations. With Mars, things are different. So at the beginning of the year until the 19th of January, Mars is in your third house, positive position for communication, for contacts, for traveling. Of course, we have to remember that the South Node is here, and somewhere in the middle we have an eclipse. So time when we have to be more cautious, but generally the focus is on communication, friends, contacts, negotiations. From the 20th of January until the 17th of February, the transit sun is in your fourth house. Time to focus on personal things, maybe not so active for social achievements for career, but instead you may connect more with your family or spend more time at home or even take a rest. Sometimes we forget about this. Scorpio as a sign is also extremely intense. I personally, I adore the sign Scorpio. I'm in love with the Scorpio sign because my Venus is in Scorpio, probably because of that. But sometimes I know that I talk some more negative stuff about Scorpio, like, you're too intense, you are more obsessed about things. That's true. But at the same time, Scorpio is so intense that sometimes for people with a strong Scorpio energy, it's difficult to relax. They are giving 100% of themselves when they want something. That's how passionate they can be. And as you can guess, sometimes this may bring exhaustion, or things might be too intense. So it's important to learn to slow down, to relax, and to recharge yourself. Generally speaking, for people with a strong Scorpio energy. So with the sun in fourth house, I can highly recommend you to pay more attention to yourself and your inner needs. After that, from the 18th of February until the 19th of March, the sun is in your fifth house, and basically that's one of the luckiest, most positive positions. It will make trine with Scorpio. So extremely positive for entertainments, for having fun, for parties, for creativity, spending more time with your children, or just doing the things that you enjoy and love doing. including, of course, your romantic life. Then we have a different period from the 20th of March until the 19th of April. The transit sun is in your 6th house, so more attention to your work, responsibilities, obligations, more serious stuff, and also, of course, your health. Then from the 20th of April until the 20th of May, the sun is in 7th house, again, important position, specifically for communication with other people. Relationships, business, personal relationships, all of them can be important. Some people may have a new relationship, others may just find more time to reconnect with their partner, or maybe to have a new business partnership. So basically, connect with other people during this time. Then from the 21st of May until the 20th of June, the sun is in your 8th house. One of the more challenging positions. 8th house is basically bringing the Scorpio energy. So here things might be too intense. Here you might be too focused on something, not necessarily in a negative way. It depends on how you're, what you're doing exactly. But generally here you're more focused on serious stuff, exploring things for research, for understanding something, learning something. This would be a great time, and also for financial issues as well. Then from the 21st of June until the 21st of July, the sun is in your 9th house and will make trine with Scorpio again. Also very beneficial, very positive period. Here we have the North Node as well. So again, a positive indication. Wonderful time for traveling, for learning new things, for focusing on the future, planning things, exploring things, and basically everything which opens up your mind. So positive, beneficial period. The next one is also important, from the 22nd of July until the 22nd of August. The sun is in your 10th house, one of the really important key positions in the chart. More focus on career, social achievements, work, business. Great time for starting new things. Great time to reveal your potential, to attract more attention from others. And of course, communication with people who have more power may support you, may, bring you new opportunities as well. But here, this is one of the key periods. The next one is from the 23rd of August until the 22nd of September. The transit sun is in 11th house, time for social activities, communication with others, friends. Basically, this is one of the most social periods for the whole year. The next one, from the 23rd of September until the 22nd of October, the sun is in your 12th house. Similar situation like the one when the sun is in your 4th house. But this time you may need to slow down even more. Time to focus on internal things, your psychological state, your emotions, to balance yourself, to take a rest, to recharge yourself, to focus or to reassess basically the past, especially the past 1 year, and to let go of the things that you no longer need. The next period, on the other hand, is completely different. From the 23rd of October until the 21st of November, the sun is in Scorpio. A brand new year ahead, brand new start for everything that you would like to do in terms of your independence, in terms of your work, in terms of also focusing on your personal desires and the things that you want. During this time, the transit Mars is still in your 12th house. So there might be a shift, but probably after Mars enters first house, which is after the 19th, from the 20th of November, the shift might be even more significant. But in one way or another, I highly recommend you to focus on yourself. If you have your sun in Scorpio, of course, this is the time of your birthday, the time of your new solar return chart. So very important period for the next 1 year. Things might be shifted, changed. things may go in a new direction. So yeah, important time. The next one is from the 22nd of November until the 20th of December, when the sun is in your second house. Time to focus on practical things, on finances, on your resources, and materializing your ideas. When the sun is in first house, you may start something. You may, the focus is on the action, on the activity. Then with the sun in second house, the focus is more on the result that you can achieve. And that's why you have to be more practical, more grounded. Again, I repeat, finances are important. And the last few days after the 21st of December until basically January, the sun is in your third house, which is time for communication, for contacts, positive time for traveling, for learning new things, new ideas, which you can, materialize, which you can implement or apply. So this is the information about the sun. We have only one slide left. Wow. Okay. Okay, so here we're going to talk about the transits of Venus. The most positive transits, which may help you to plan nice things, your vacations, entertainment, celebrations. You can find out the positive periods about your personal life. Basically, Venus brings harmony. Venus helps you to feel more comfortable. So the transits of Venus through your houses can show you in which area of your life you may feel more comfortable. Now, we can't promise you that, those transits will dramatically change your life, but they may help you to improve something or just to feel better. So don't neglect them. They are still important. And we start the year with the very important position of Venus in Scorpio in your first house until the 6th of January. A very positive time for your love life, for connecting with other people, expressing your emotions. They might be quite intense because Scorpio is an intense sign, as we know. But also you may reconnect with yourself, or you may pay attention to your appearance. You may improve something. You may feel more loved. You may feel more attractive, especially for women. That's a fantastic position. The next transit is from the 7th of January until the 2nd of February. Venus in second house. Important position because this is one of the houses which are naturally ruled by Venus. More focus on practical things, especially for finances. This is a great time. You may enjoy to spend money on something, to buy things. You can receive financial support as well. Then from the 3rd of February until the 28th, the transit Venus is in your third house, which can help you to harmonize your not every relationship, but mostly communication with people who you meet on a daily basis. Neighbors, co-workers, sometimes even your siblings. Positive time for traveling, for trips, for learning new things as well. Then from the 1st of March until the 25th of March, Venus is in your fourth house. Very positive transit for family, for your relationship with family members, and relatives, of course. And here you may feel really comfortable at home. Just to relax, just to stay on your own, to improve maybe something, not necessarily to work on something, to take care of something, but just to relax and to feel nice at home. Then a very positive transit between the 26th of March and the 19th of April. Venus is in your fifth house. Great transit for love, for creativity, for enjoying life, for entertainments and parties and celebrations, and connecting with your children. So really time to enjoy your life. Then from the 20th of April until the 14th of May, Venus is in your sixth house. This transit may harmonize your communication with coworkers, may help you to feel more comfortable at work. maybe not so focused on achieving things and working really hard, but more like feeling nice at the office or wherever you work. Then you have another important transit between the 15th of May and the 7th of June. Venus is in 7th house, the other house which is ruled by Venus. Great time for relationships. Very important period for, restarting or starting brand new relationships, or reconnecting emotionally with your partner, or expressing your feelings. Here you may notice also that people pay more attention to your emotions and your feelings. And also, generally, for negotiations, this is a very harmonious position as well. After that, from the 8th of June until the 2nd of July, Venus is in 8th house, not one of those, really beneficial positions. Emotionally, the period might be more intense, more difficult sometimes. But on the other hand, you may transform things in terms of your relationships, or also you may focus on financial stuff. This is a positive position for financial decisions. The next one is from the 3rd of July until the 26th of July. Venus in your 9th house. Great transit for traveling, for entertainment. Here also the North Node is in 9th house, of course, so Venus is joining the North Node. Great time when you may enjoy to focus on your goals. You may enjoy traveling or learning new things. So really, really beneficial period. The next one is also very important, from the 27th of July until the 20th of August. Venus is in your 10th house. You may achieve significant results, or you may feel not necessarily, not so much energy for work, but more when you can enjoy the things that you're achieving. For communication with authority figures, this is also very positive position. People may like you more. People may feel really well when they can make you feel nice. So for harmonizing relationship with authority figures, with bosses, people who have more power, this is a great position. And generally for enjoying the work that you are doing or your business. After that, from the 21st of August until the 13th of September, Venus is in 11th house. Positive for socializing with people, spending more time with your friends, receiving emotional support from others as well. Then from the 14th of September until the 7th of October, Venus is in 12th house. Time to reassess your relationships. Time when you may enjoy being more on your own, your private time, your private space. Emotionally or in terms of relationships, this is not a really active period. This is time to concentrate more on your inner feelings. And then we have a very big shift from the 8th of October until the 31st. Venus enters Scorpio, again, your first house, very significant position. During this time, you might be really emotional, really sensitive. A relationship can be very important. Starting brand new relationships is possible, of course. Improving your appearance, especially for women, this is a great time to pay more attention to your body or how you look or how you would like to look. So one of the important, nice periods. Then from the 1st of November until the 24th, Venus is in 2nd house. Basically, we are repeating things from the beginning of the year. More attention to your finances, some support, or receiving money, improving your financial situation. Or just you may enjoy to spend money on something, to buy something nice for yourself. Then from the 25th of November until the 19th of December, Venus is in your 3rd house, which can help you to harmonize communication, to negotiate with other people. Also wonderful for traveling, for communicating with more people as well. And the last transit for the last couple of days after the 20th of December, Venus is in 4th house, so also great transit to connect with your family, to spend more time with relatives, or just to relax and feel comfortable at home. And now, guys, we have the last, basically the luckiest days during the whole year. These are some special combinations, aspects between positive planets, which may bring you new opportunities or abundance or prosperity. We have a conjunction between the Sun and Venus only one time during the whole year. The exact position is 22 degrees in Leo. In your case, it falls in 10th house. So this is an especially positive combination, especially in terms of career and work. Business opportunities, attracting more attention, especially for people who are popular, who are working in front of an audience, or other people need to evaluate their work. This would be a great transit, a great aspect. So work, career, and things are easier. You don't necessarily have to work extremely hard for that. The other two conjunctions are also including Venus, but this time we have Jupiter. The first one on the 22nd of January and the second one on the 24th of November. Venus in conjunction with Jupiter. The small and the great benefactor together in your second house. A fantastic combination for finances and for your resources. You may receive money, you may find a way how to improve your finances, you may invest money. Great, fantastic combination, also because Venus is the natural ruler of second house. So in this combination, Venus is very strong. So remember specifically those dates: 22nd of January, 24th of November. And not only on those days, of course, before and after that, you may still feel the impact of this transit. And actually, if you want to find also the other exact aspects for the whole year with the interpretation, they are included in the astrological calendar for 2019. If you're interested, you can find the link below the video. And this calendar also includes heliacal phases of the planets, interpretation of the major aspects, the dates, and ingressions of planets, and more information. So I really hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for spending your time, basically investing your time. Don't forget also to listen to your sun and ascendant sign. All of the videos will be available on my channel, and after they are recorded, they will be also on my website, marstars.net. If you want more information about astrology or coaching, or if you want a personal reading, you can also go to my website as well. The links are below the video. And I really wish you a wonderful 2019. I think that it might be a great year with all of those things, especially the first that we talked about, Jupiter and the strong position and those lucky days here and the combinations. So thank you again, and I will see you really soon.